I'm Frank and Shi. This is The Wave, a Chang corporation providing power and thermal management products and solutions with over 35-year establishment in Thailand is reinforcing its leading role in the market. Today, the top management will be sharing his messages on new initiatives, Thailand's role, and foreign investors' concerns. Joining me now is Mr. Chang, President and Chief Operating Officer of Delta Electronics Thailand. Great to have you on the show.
Hi.
The first question we would like to know, why is Thailand so important for Delta Electronics? What was the decision-making process behind to choose Thailand as one of the hubs for Delta Electronics in 1988? That's the critical year there.
Yeah. I think Thailand basically is very strategic locations, and no matter from the ASEAN regions or even close to the India, Singapore, and all the different China, so it's really positioned is quite well. And from the Delta Electronics point of view, when we are choosing the locations, of course, it's one of the things geographical fits, and that the other part is the political side should be also stable as well. And looking into all the ASEAN countries, I think it's Thailand, even though there's some of the turmoils on the market for some political part of it, but we do see it's still quite stable in terms of the economies and also the business development side of it. So this is one of the main considering point, and the people here, majority are Buddhist, and in that side of it, which is also quite a nice and good culture. So we were thinking, considered on the financial side of it, it also a little bit more flexible as well at that moment. So we see if we want to have a good consideration of the strategic investment, Thailand could be a good location for us. And the other side of it is also have the seaport and airport, which is we tend to use in the Thailand or Bangkok as a main transition hub to go to European side of it as well. So this is also give a good fit in terms of the geography configuration. Yeah.
Thank you. Great summary there, because you talk about geographical location, cultural side, and of course political stability. As what you said, we see some chaos in the society on the political side, but I remember in the forum hosted by Federation of Industry of Thailand, one of the high positions said that of course we see the political stability in the society, but the business is still going on to the prosperous side.
Yeah. I think that plays very important role. Yeah, especially we see the area, the whole country on the development targeting on the commercial and the business economics direction is quite clear. So it will not be because it's impact from the political side and the slowdown on that, which is quite good and positive from our view.
And I understand foreign investors get benefit from the spatial zone like seaport or Eastern Economic Zone, EEC. Yeah. It's very important for foreign investors like you. Could you please talk about early 2000s, 2003, off camera, we talk about the integration of one Swiss company called SCOM Energy System, because at the beginning, of course, Delta focused on switching power supplies, and I think your company at that moment wanted to, strengthen your power, not just on regional stage, but to global stage too.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's the 2003, Delta Electronics Thailand merged a company called SCOM Energy System. And that part of it, we were also considering about adding on our own engineering capability and the research capability as well. So by doing so, it also gives us a good footprint in terms of the geographical coverage, and also give us much more talents. Actually, the talent is the key what we are looking for. And that acquisition result into the good footprint in the European side of it, but also we have some of the footprint in India, for example, in South America's area as well. So we still think that that's a very good move, and because it's, at the moment, because of the India side of it, now you see we have much more investment in India, and we're building more operations and manufacturing over there. And we are also having the chances to cover of the Indian market and the European market. And in the meantime, we are also taking the chances to have some further integrations and also modify a little bit from their business direction. And it ended up to have our more resources gearing into the more strategic future mega trend direction, what we are doing. So I think that's a very valuable investment, and it's really give the Delta Electronics Group a very good strategic, diverse, and also engagement into the different areas. So, for example, like the EV components, EV power product design is also kind of the shifting some of our engineering resources to work on that portion. Yeah. So now it's one of the good growth foundations for us in the Delta Electronics Thailand.
You talk about EV, that's a very key industry here.
Yes.
Before we started the interview, you told me that actually you saw this vision of the development of EV industry 20 years ago. This is the initiative to strengthen Delta Electronics' leading role in Thailand and in the globe too. Of course, in Thailand government, they vowed to achieve 30-30. Of course, you know this initiative. In 2030, 30% of all auto production will be EV cars. And they also have other initiatives like carbon neutrality and net zero carbon greenhouse emission gas by 2050 and 2065. In EV industry, I want to understand, as what you said, you saw the vision earlier, 20 years ago. Could you please tell us why Delta Electronics diversify and choose to set foot into EV industry?
In the previous time frame when I was in Europe, and most of people also aware that the European side is much more having the more green initiatives, and that they are quite keen to looking for something which is could reduce the carbon emissions and to have more protection to our planet, especially the climate changes is also a kind of a serious subject, and now it's even worse. So EV definitely is EV car is definitely one of the selections, or what we so-called mega trend to engage and to develop. Normally the life cycle of a car, we're talking about minimum 10 years is a basic. And then to develop a car also normally take about 5 years. So when we see this as a mega trend, we definitely think is what could be the future of the Delta. And then we think is that this is the probably the right mega trend and the direction to move on to, because it's people talking about the energy savings, people talking about the reduce the CO2 emission, people talking about the reduce the air pollutions. So EV car fits into all these sort of the area. So that's why we are engaged on the development on the power electronics into the EV portion quite early stage. Luckily, we do that sort of the investment and also diverse some of our engineering resources at the moment of time. And internally, we all even form a kind of the business group to focus on the EV related area. So that does help us to make the things more successfully and to have some sort of the progress up to now. And in overall, I think it's the, like what we say, is a kind of the mega trend. So although there's come out with a different way of the format, and like the source of the power, using battery or using the hydrogens, and or even previously we had the hybrid type of the solutions as well. But all you know is try to make sure it could be more affordable and also achievable from the public, from the majority of people to purchase. So, and I think it's the EV definitely will change our life quite a lot. And because of the function of it, because of the CO2 emission reduction of it, and also maybe there will be some of the consideration as a kind of taking the second life of the battery as an energy storage concept. It's also in the many different discussions as well. All in all, I think is the putting the whole society moving toward to the more lower carbon emissions or even the net zero environment is very much important.
You talk about benefits to develop EV industry earlier on, of course, for climate change, for convenience of people's life. What about the setback there? What about the drawback or disadvantage?
I think it's the most of us know that EV is not just like a normal petrol station. It's been spreading around everywhere. The charging, to refill the gas of petrol in the petrol station took a very limited time. EV charging infrastructure play a very vital role in this place, and of course the technology of the EV charging station and also the technology of the battery, it also help and improve the situation will be much more significant if we have better solutions. From the Delta side of it, we do have quite a lot of different varieties of the choices, no matter for the residential use or the public use or even for the highway charging, quick charging. It's all try to aim into addressing this sort of the issue or concern. For example, if you go to the shopping mall, you could have the charger, maybe charging time for 1.5 hours or maximum 2 hours is still acceptable. Because when you go in, you have some meal and the drinks and the walk around, it probably take that time. So then we have that sort of the 25 kilowatt or 50 kilowatt chargers, nice and small, compact per fit. And if you say stay at home, you go back at night and charging it, 6 hours, 8 hours, charging is acceptable. So we also have the more valuable model to fit for it. And of course, if you want to go for the highway, you want to go from Bangkok to Pattaya, you would definitely don't want to stay too much time on the road. So that quick charging is also available. Very luckily, I think we are also having a good product portfolio. We are actually among the top 10 leading players. They are all taking our product in that sense. So from our point of view, to further enhance the charging infrastructure and the kind of the setup of all these EV charging infrastructure, it definitely will help to push and boost for the EV cars of the interest of purchasing.
For the statement of Delta Electronics for the group, I want to quote here, to provide innovative, clean and energy efficient solution for better tomorrow, unquote. What are those new solutions that your company provides to sustain the environment too? We talk about smart building too, the smart energy system to control and to monitor the building and to see the safety and security in the building too.
So when we are talking about the energy saving, energy management, I think we could be very professional on that for sure. And from our viewpoint, the new initiative what we try to bring in is not only talking about the product itself to make it more efficiency, because as the efficiency higher, you reduce the loss of the energy as well. So we continuously to improve our product technology to give the better efficient product to our clients, to the whole world. But in the meantime, we are also thinking about what kind of the solution we could bring to the public and to helping our clients or partners to make their working environments, to make their manufacturing even greener as well. So through this sort of the consideration, we also come up quite a lot of different solutions for it. For example, majority of us is stay inside of the building. So the building itself, there's a lot of light source, there's a lot of HVAC or air conditioning has been applied. Could we properly and better manage those energy? And when people is not there, should you let the lights on, for example, or should we use the sensor to detect people's movement to control the light? And then how about the air conditioning? Could it be better and managed fit into more a comfortable temperature instead of too cold or too hot? This is sort of the things we see is also important because more and more people want to move into the cities, and so the city side of it also facing a lot of pressure. So how do they manage for the power source or from the electricity from the government side of it or from the private side of it? And these are also part of the overall city infrastructure as well. So we should try to manage from the building, make it a little bit more smarter, greener, and then from the many buildings consolidate and link it up together as a building management and also the energy management. So then it will help and develop into the city infrastructure. And of course, there's many subjects as what we so-called smart city. And we are quite happy to co-work with the different partners and customers to help them to manage their building, to make them have more greener factories as well.
And you have the role in building smart city, not just smart building, because it's just the small component in the smart city concept, but Delta Electronics can help for corporates and government too, because of course government could have to realize smart city from your support. Next one, of course, I think it's what we have seen obviously on the stock market. We understand that right now stock market is not performing well. I mean the whole stock market. But we understand, of course, the stock market in terms of Delta Electronics Thailand earlier this year, it's went uplifted into the top in the stock market, and the value of Delta Electronics Thailand was larger than the mother company. But right now we see 20% drop here. I wouldn't mention the number here, but we've seen the trend right now. Can you please tell us the reason? Maybe because for the macro environment here, it's not just about Delta Electronics, about the economic slowdown, slow development here. What's your explanation and what's your insights about stock market?
I think this is the subject I've been asked quite often during no matter the opportunity days or in the press release or even for any kind of event. In fact, Delta Electronics, we are a company quite focused on what we are doing. So what is our professional about is mainly on the product developments and also the solution offering. So overall, this is what we are doing, and we provide a good quality product to our clients, to our partners, to make sure they have a better tomorrow, right? So from that point of view, I really appreciate the investors or shareholders. They do pay attention to us and continuously to invest on Delta, which is without their investment or kind of the attention, I don't think our stock price would be high and good. But of course, what we also believe is if we are not doing our job properly, and I don't think they will also pay attention to that. So luckily, and also, of course, we are also seeing the whole market is very changing quite fast. So, but in some of the figures, it's also proved to show to the confidence of our investors. For example, our revenue in 2019 is talking about $1.6 billion US dollars. And that's before COVID, 1 year before COVID. But then in year 2020, we reached to $2 billion. So even COVID start, we still continue to grow. And then 2021, we grow up to 2.6 billion. And then 2022, we grow up to 3.3 billion US dollar. So what I'm trying to say is, I always believe if we are doing a good job on what we are good at, so the rest of it, we leave it to the investor, shareholder, them to decide. Yeah. So we continuously past a few years of 20-30% of the growth, I think that probably is one of the reasons the investor shareholders having the continued confidence on us. And how much the price will be is not on my hands. Yeah. I could only take care what we are good at. And despite all the interruption on the supply chain, despite all the logistic issues and the material shortage, and we still could deliver a good performance. Yeah. And thanks to all the support and the effort from the whole team. And I think it's, of course, government is also playing a very important role here to make sure we don't get the shutdown of our production, make sure we could continue to deliver the mission critical product to the data center, to the PC, IT, server room, and the telecommunication infrastructure, and even for the EV infrastructure. So all these is, I think, we are on the right track, on the right mega trend that makes differences.
The core issue here is what you pointed out are the keys to attracting, of course, investor, ensuring the strength and the sustainable performance from Delta Electronics. I think, of course, you've been here for many years. You understand the mega trend here. You understand how the future is, how the future goes in the next step. What's your suggestion to Thai government in terms of, from your experience as a foreign investor in Thailand? Some presidents or chairperson of foreign chamber of commerce, they told me that they worry about water shortage, they worry about energy supply, they worry about climate change, green supply chain. Some also talk about the minimum wage per day to 400 baht. How about, what's your insight? What's your advice to the government?
This question is probably could go into many different directions. So let me try to talk about my feelings so far. Yeah. Although we have been thinking as a foreign investors, but actually I think we are kind of viewing ourselves as a Thai company. So what is the difference about that? And if you view yourself as a Thai company, you're doing a lot of things to consider about the overall beneficiary for the whole society. What could we bring in? How could we make the difference? How could we create any kind of impact to the society of the Thailand? And it also helping changing the quality of life of people as well. So if we base on this kind of the philosophy or logic to think about that, you will see Delta Electronics Thailand, we're doing quite a lot of things different from the other foreign investor companies. For example, we pay quite strong attention on the talent development. Why we want to spend a lot of effort on the talent development or people development? Because it's critical. Thinking about a company, if they are investing in Thailand, they gain the incentive on the buildings, they get incentive on the land or their machinery. Eventually, the incentive will disappear. So what did you left for this country? So that's why we are quite keen, and we talking with the BOI and to tell them that is most important for Thailand. Your incentive shouldn't be only on the machinery and building, should be also on people. And I'm very happy they take this opinion and put it into the new regulations. So having this sort of incentives. But overall, we've been working with the universities and the different schools for more than 7 years. And we are having the devices and what we so-called industrial automation lab to be set up in majority of the university we co-work with. And we also now started with the power electronic lab with 2 universities now. This year, maybe next year we increase to 3. So all in all, the purpose is to try to share with you is we view this people development as very critical. And then whatever we are putting there is also will be beneficiary for Thailand in the long run. We're talking about smart manufacturing. We're talking about smart industrial automation. We're talking about the future power source of the energy. These are, if you as a private sectors, I think we could do something to help and to push for the development. Instead of just saying, we have this problem, that problem, but have we do something about it? Yeah, we could do something. And the combined, we could have more powerful or more contribution into this part of it. So from the Delta side of it, we also try to talk with the FTI and with all the different industry to see what can we bring more to help and to boost the economy, boost the quality of the people. So yes, energy side of it, I still need to emphasize it. I think it's from the government. They could probably speed up a little bit in terms of the regulation, no matter on the private PPAs or TPA or whatever, that sort of area. Because it's, in the long run, we do see the energy will be one of the critical ones.
So you talk about energy side. Could you please continue?
Yeah, I think the energy side of it, more and more the renewable energy sources is much international requirement or criteria. It's one of the key things to fulfill the ESG as well. And so a lot of first-tier international companies, they will come to you and asking you to commit it. So Delta is also committed for RE100, for example. So by 2030, we need to make sure 100% of our energy source will be renewable. I think it's through this sort of the discussion and the various meetings with the government sectors, and they are also understanding and aware about that. So no matter the investment, incentive, or the regulation is under discussions. Of course, if this could be speeded up a little bit, I think it will be helpful for us. So of course, we are also engaged with some of the private sectors like SCG, Clean Energy, and to try to work on some sort of the private PPA things. And of course, there's many things that we could try and test. Talking about the net zero, we also launched our containerized net zero solution in Amada, Chonburi, in the industrial park. And to show to people the technology to be net zero is there. Yeah, so we don't need to wait for a long time. And we really need to do is try to find a chance to implement and to take action for that. So this is what I've seen as the energy part of it. Because this is also one of the purpose from Delta Electronics. We try to engage with the university to encourage the students to study on the power engineering, power electronics, because this will be in the long term, next 10 years, it will going to be very critical and important for the whole society. And Thailand as a leading country in ASEAN, then this part of it, I think it deserves for us to spend some more effort on that. And so in the future, thinking about you have so many EV cars charging in the same time, then it will be great pressure for the grid, the utility grid. So this is the area I think we need to plan ahead and work on something. Talking about the minimum wage, I think in fact, I'm not that great concern about on that part of it. First of all, Delta's in the market, we are quite high standard for ourselves and our employee benefits. So all in all, we think is to change to improve the people's life and have more income is a nature. It gradually will move on anyway, just as a matter of time. But if we are really looking after the people, take care of them, most likely the 400 baht per day as a minimum wage, I don't see an issue for us. It's manageable. Yeah. And of course, in the meantime, we are also trying to improve the productivity using the automations and to enhance or even uplift our people for their skill. Yeah, so make them to be even have more value contribution. So they are not doing the routine daily works like that. And I think it's that also compensate and benefit for that, for company as well.
They mentioned about this because before then invest in Thailand, they would see the human force market here, labor force market here, to see if the skilled labor is sufficient. Of course, you say that you cooperate with universities or vocational school and even give them a scholarship to learn in Taiwan and come back to Thailand to work in your company too. Do you think skilled labor force in Thailand right now is qualifiable or sufficient for foreign investors to come in, no matter for EV industry, or you talk about renewable energy there? What's your suggestion?
Yeah, I think it's it's kind of the demand and supply things. When, first of all, in the past, I don't think Thailand is a country very strong on the electronics yet. So when you are not that strong, and then most likely the students, when they study, they probably will not consider to study the engineering as their major consideration. So maybe the tourism or maybe the financing side of it will become their first choice. It's nothing wrong about it. It's just the timing of the situation. But that's what I'm also saying. As a foreign investors, we also need to eyes in on what can we do for Thailand. If you are coming here, you also invest in people. You co-work with the different universities. Then you also create the interest of the student to study on the electronics, engineering, or mechanical engineering, or even the software development, whatever things. That definitely gradually, by time, then you will have more student interest on that. And Delta, we have the Delta Academy with several universities, and we offer the different curriculums, and the student they could learn, and by doing so, they will also get a certification from Delta, and then they could join the internship with us. Like this year, we have the internship, more than 100 positions open for the university student to apply. So then they come to our factory, they visit and see the things, and then they definitely were feeling much more comfortable. Because traditional manufacturing, from their viewpoint or from what they've seen, maybe it's dark, sweating, no air cons, and no good benefits. And you do there because you're not having good study or whatsoever things. But electronics is totally different. You go to Taiwan, you go to any electronics manufacturing, all bright, nice, clean, and with the air conditioning 24 hours. And because it's the manufacturing environment also need to be properly kept in the good environment as well. So all in all, we take a lot of chances to let the student, let the professors to come in and to see. And from their point of view, they realize, wow, as a company could be here for 35 years, and they could really enjoy or even retire in this company as like their family life as well. And then they could get a good benefit. And I think it will create that sort of positive effect and the cycling of that. So we do find out there's more and more students shows the interest on the engineering side of the study, and we also encourage students to go overseas or even sponsor some of the scholarship to go to Taiwan to let them learn the degree or get a master degree, then come back to Thailand to service. So from our point of view, it might take some time, but we do not see that sort of the issue for have the engineering sources to work for us. Of course, as you want to have some experienced one, it won't happen in one day. So during the quick expansion of our company, we do bring some external resources from Delta Group to come in to facilitate and to train the junior, fresh graduate students from the university. And I think it's a kind of the good things as well.
Yeah, cooperation, education, and of course, the plan to magnify the company's influence in local labor force is the key. Last question, any teas for the future plan of Delta Electronics Thailand? What's the next step as you have the ability to spot the mega trend? What's the next?
We are still expanding. Probably most of people already know through the updates and information. We now have in the new production site, we call Plan 8, will be ready, and actually it's now in the final touch. And then we also have the R&D center, it's also ready, and our R&D people will move in maybe later this year, December, I think. So all in all is showing the commitment, what we want to further do and the development in Thailand. Of course, no doubt our past few years track records, it also gives us much more confidence to further invest in Thailand. And all in all, I think is the future from the market point of view. No doubt EV still will be one of the key driving force, because many countries, the government or private sector, they all have this sort of commitment to achieve that, to helping changing the climate. And then I think it's also what we so-called about the smart manufacturing, the Industrial 4.0. That area still will continually evolving. No matter what, as an overall majority of people investing in Thailand, they still also feeling about the shortage of the labor as well, because the unemployment rate in Thailand is quite low, below 3%. So on that sort of situation, it also would be some sort of the concern for sure. So how do you make sure the productivity, the machinery could be having better output and performance, and your people could deal with the machine is also critical. So improving on the production output and the productivities, and also make sure that we are in the meantime saving the energies and making the green factory, green buildings, and these are still will be continuously to move on and driving for the future market. And no doubt the data center is one of the things. Every country wants to have the data center in their own country instead of going abroad or sending to the data for outside. And the more and more company also thinking about invest more data center in the Asian market. So I think these are also the good opportunity to make sure we paying attention to that part of it. So all in all, I think we still have very strong confidence in terms of the Asian market development, and then we will also continuously to bring more solutions and project to helping our partners and clients.
Thank you so much for today, because you talk a lot about very significant points there. It's not just productivity, but you have to look at the energy saving there. And you talk about data center, which is very important about, I think it's about how to manage the data and cybersecurity too. It's very important for each company to put their foot in Thailand. Thank you so much for today, Mr. Chang, President and Chief Operating Officer of Delta Electronics Thailand. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Frank.